AITA for excluding my blind friend from my wedding. I have a friend, Bobby, who struggles with his eyesight. He's quiet and solemn most of the time, but he's a solid guy and he's good to spend time with. We met at college a couple of years ago and have taken tons of classes together. Our first year of college, we lived together and we've stayed friends since I moved out. After the first couple of weeks of knowing him, it emerged that he was registered blind. He's not completely without his sight, so it's not like we didn't notice this guy with a cane and a dog. It's just that he needs mega-sized text to read and he's not allowed to drive or get his license. He's completely independent though and has a free public transport card to get to the bus and train since he can't drive. He's always been a bit of a home bird as well, so every weekend he'd travel about 2 hours back up home and 2 hours back so that he could visit his mom and dad. Now, my fiance and I have been dating for over 4 years and we've been engaged for 18 months. As is the way with weddings, we sent out save the dates and invites along the way, and Bobby received both. Because I'm not a very organized human, the wedding invites went out a little later than they traditionally might. But since everyone who was coming knew about the wedding in advance and received a save the date, it was fine. We had a few people who missed the RSVP date by a couple of days, but no harm, no foul. The RSVP date was set for exactly 1 month before the wedding. Now for the potential assholery. Bobby also missed the RSVP date. He wasn't the only one I had to chase up a week later, but he was the only one who read the message and then took 2 further days to reply with a yes. Today, less than 2 weeks before the wedding, he's messaged saying he can only come to the wedding if he can have a +1. The reason for his +1 is his eyesight. Because he doesn't drive and he's not local, he needs someone, his mom, to be present to drive him there and back. I flat out told him no. He's not inviting his mom as a +1 because we've already told the hotel the number for the meal, but she is welcome for the rest of the day. The hotel, in reality, doesn't need the numbers up till 48 hours before, but the table plans are set. There's no easy space to slot her in, and I don't want a friend's mom that nobody knows enjoying the wedding meal and speeches and us paying for the privilege. I now doubt whether he'll come because I don't know if she's happy coming all the way to not even be fed. Am I the asshole? That is correct. That is a correct verdict.
Poor Bobby, right? Poor Bobby. Bobby's disabled. Bobby can't drive. And I don't think having a free bus pass is that great of a consolation prize.
No,
okay?
no.
Like, if somebody was like, Emily, we're going to take away your license, but you get a free bus pass, I'd be like, no, thank you. Thank you. Okay. I almost feel like he's framing it like it's not that bad for Bobby.
He spends this kind of whole paragraph kind of trying to paint a picture that like it's really not that bad for Bobby. Like he struggles with his eyesight, but it's kind of like he's blind. Like, I don't know why we're mincing words. Like, that's what being blind means.
It's not like, no, my finger hurts when it rains. No, this is a serious disability.
You're in the thick of this because you're planning your own wedding right now. If you were in this situation, would you kind of just eat it though because they're freaking blind, or can you see yourself being a little pushy about it?
As somebody who made a giant like Game of Thrones map of our reception area and made an elaborate seating chart and worked on it for days and days, like I totally understand that it's like hard work. But guess what? Your friend has a disability. He's blind and he needs a little help. And these are just one of the things you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta change the seating chart. Like,
I don't know what exceptions people are waiting for in life. This feels like the kind of exception that is, well, exceptional. So like, go do the extra stuff. Sarah Harris writes, NTA, I just got married and it is unbelievable the number of people who expect to bring a +1 when they did not get one. It's so inconvenient to the bride and groom to have to rearrange everything for this one person. It's your day and your partner's day. If you don't want someone there, you don't have to have them there. End of story. I said, do you think it's inconvenient to redo seating arrangements? How about how inconvenient it is to not see ever?
I'm in a bride group on Facebook and I'm on there all day long. The gist of every comment is, it's your day, honey. You wear that purple dress, or you disinvite your mother-in-law. And I generally like agree with all of it, except this person has a disability. You can't, how cold are you that you can't make room for somebody with a disability who needs a person to be like their eyes for them?
Your wedding is your time to be the royalty. Do you think there are other examples of people going too far with that?
I've heard of so many bride stories since getting engaged, and just to the point of like The like brides are choosing really expensive socks and shoes for the groomsmen to rent, and just like that. And it's like, especially like know who you're dealing with. Like most of us do not have tons of money to throw around. You just have to leave some things up to chance and say, here, just wear this color, or just rent this suit, whatever you do for shoes. Like you can't control everything. And I just feel like it's an excuse for people to be like these controlling monsters that like live inside all of us. And it's horrible.
Michaela Carter says, YTA, if the hotel can accept numbers up to 48 hours before and you have the time, why would you deny them a +1? If it's a cost thing, unless you're a member of the royal family getting married or a celebrity like Beyonce, chances are not everyone who RSVP'd will even show up. You're totally being a bridezilla/groomzilla here. What about the aspect of what Michaela says, which is not everyone who RSVP'd will even show up? That kind of rung false with me. I thought people are pretty serious about wedding RSVPs, aren't they?
Yes and no.
Boy.
I know. I was the asshole once.
Oh, you no-showed on a wedding?
I totally no-showed on a wedding. I no-showed on a wedding. Mm-hmm. And I feel horrible about it now that I know what goes into a wedding. I fucking no-showed on a wedding.
How did you kind of repair that?
I lied.
Nice. We don't talk a lot about lying on the pod, but it's a tool. It's out there.
I think I said I missed my flight, but I didn't go to it. So in a way I did miss it, but I missed it because I just didn't want to get up at 4 a.m. and pay to get to Newark. And I didn't go.
Wait, so you purchased your flight, but then the price to take the train to Newark, you were like, nah.
I just didn't want to get up at 4 and do it.
Oh my God.
I know. It's honestly.
YTA.
I know.
YTA.
Me, TA, ITA. I feel terrible in retrospect. Oh my God. I can't even believe I said that.
I'm really proud of you. That was a beautiful confession. Now knowing that though, now that you have that in your head, if someone no-shows at your wedding,
them.
You're going to kill them. Kevin Hendricks writes, you sound like a real skinflint with this quote, us paying for the privilege garbage. Of course she's not happy to come to your wedding and be treated like persona non grata. Stop pretending like you give a damn about your friend. Your wedding is supposed to be a celebration of all the people who made you into the person you are when you become a part of a new family. If you want to celebrate being a cheapskate ableist who won't even push a couple of chairs a little tighter for your old roomie, then you already know what kind of person you are. Never mind being an asshole. You're like a poem about selfishness.
Kevin Hendricks, wow.
He's like my favorite commenter.
He's great.
Look, this guy's obviously the asshole. I don't really think there's any way around it. But like, what is he actually looking at in terms of redoing the seating arrangement? Are we talking about hours of work?
It can be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour to make that work. But also like if 15 minutes to an hour of extra work is inconvenient to you where you have to be a serious asshole, like wait till you have kids, dude. Like what are you going to do about the rest of your life? How have you gotten this far? Like you just have to deal with some shit.
That's a good phrase that everyone needs to internalize. Like part of life is just you're going to have to deal with some shit.
Yeah. You don't want to change the seating arrangement at the last minute, but guess what? You just do it. And it takes 15 minutes, maybe because of these two people and because of the ways that all the numbers of people at every table, it ends up being this crazy thing that takes an hour, and you do it with your fiance and you laugh about it and you have a drink about it while you're sitting there with your seating chart and you bond, and you know what? It was actually a nice night.
Sebastian Pepperstick says, when you started talking about his mom being able to enjoy the dinner, not speeches, I started laughing. His mom has probably been to so many events that she does not even want to be at in order to accommodate her visually impaired child. So she was going to enjoy a meal at your cost. She wouldn't enjoy the speeches. I guarantee that.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Nobody enjoys the speech. I'll tell you, maybe 10 people, the bride, the groom, their immediate relatives. That's all who enjoys the speeches. Like this idiot actually thinks his best man's shitty inside jokes are Seinfeld. Like no one gives a fuck about the time you threw up in Cancun, Kyle. Come on.
Who does this guy think he is? Like,
you want to pretend you're royalty, right? Isn't that really what it is?
Personally, my mission is to pretend that I'm a drag queen. That's like you're sitting here in front of me and I'm wearing like no makeup and like a t-shirt, and that's what I wear every day. And I'm like, this is my day to be a real queen.
That feels more reasonable. People should stop thinking themselves as kings and think of themselves as drag queens. That's so reasonable.
It's just fun. It makes it fun. Princesses are annoying. wedding.
So I think we both agree AITA for excluding my blind friend from my wedding.
You're such an asshole, dude. How does this person love you? How does this person want to marry you when you can't accommodate for a blind friend? Who would marry that? Okay, well, good luck.